center equals 1 point, forward is 2 points, guard is 3 points. So
welcome to another timeless moment brought to you by the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. If you like the video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to support the show, please hit that subscribe button and tick that bell so you get notified whenever we go live. See you in the comments.
And what's this week's timeless moment, Russell?
So I think we should thank our listener, Jamie Perchevsky,
Yes.
for his DMs to our Instagram account. Thank you so much, mate. It's always good for a chat with people who are like-minded of the hobby. And his question was, maybe... So Jamie's question was...
Where's the question?
Take 3. So the conversation went along the lines of, what other topics do you think that we could do for timeless moments after he enjoyed the previous episode? So the question went, who do you guys think to PC and why, and what next players should people get into and might be cool? And so whoever that you PC is a very personal question. And I think the best way to answer that is collect somebody that you enjoy watching. And I think if you do that, it's a very enjoyable way to embrace your collection, because if he has a good game, you can go look at your cards, or you could be sorting your cards as you're watching him play on TV, or something along those lines. Like, I genuinely enjoy doing stuff like that. And I think if you then choose somebody that also happens to ascend into NBA All-Star or All-NBA, that's really exciting too.
It's a bonus.
That's right. You have that potential of also your collection going up. And so, I think that's the best way to look at it. And I think that's the way to answer your question. And however, what I did do is I came up with a tool that I put onto social media. And I think that it wasn't that well received by people. And I think the reason it was, and quite correctly so, is because then people were kind of like, oh, well, are you saying that my collection's worth nothing now, or it's worth less? And it's like, well, actually, that wasn't the reason I put this tool together. It was more, to be honest, this is something I've had in the back of my mind for a little while, and I wasn't too sure how to get it out. And so on socials, I've labeled it as who to PC checklist, but maybe what it should be is...
I think you got the letters confused. It should be how to PC.
Yeah, how to PC, or it should be actually how much money should I spend on somebody that I don't like? Because I think that's the best way. So then you're just being like ruthlessly objective about it. It's like, okay, I don't like this guy, but should I be spending money investing into his card? So this is the checklist you would use for that situation.
Investing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so for me, like Jalen Green is the perfect guy. And actually that's the guy who's in the picture. It's like, should I be spending money on Jalen Green? So this is the checklist. And people who are smarter than me will work this out really quickly. It says 10 to 15 points. It should be 10 to 12 points. So obviously this is like a first or a second draft that I've rolled out here.
Yeah.
Position, center equals 1 point. Forward is 2 points. Guard is 3 points. So Tim Duncan would get 1 point in this example. Kevin Durant would get 2. And Michael Jordan would get 3. Draft status, were they a high upside player? So you can think about all the ESPN coverage, and they talk about high upside, long wingspan. You can interchange those words. That's totally fine. Were they 21 years or younger, or are they 22 years or older? So the easy one to think about there is for the Indiana Pacers, Chris Duarte. So when he came into the league, he was older than 22, and he's already out of the league. So he came in, he played really well for a couple of years, but then basically he was squeezed out. And I actually think it's almost a little bit of bias that the NBA has. I think they really maybe overvalue younger players, because I think Duarte could play in the league, but he got more money offers outside of it. So that was fine. And then the other one who would get 2 points in this example, 21 years or younger, is Pat Williams for the Bulls. So you have to give him a little bit more potential or higher points for that. Is his game exciting? Actually, I think I laid this one out really well. The example is Tim Duncan. Amazing player, but shoots shots off the backboard. That was his calling card. Tyrese Halliburton, really good player, but not particularly that highlightable. And then the obvious highlight machine at the moment is Anthony Edwards. He would get 3 points.
Ja Morant. Anthony Edwards.
Zion Williamson. Yeah, all those guys that came out of college and you knew they were exciting straight away. So market size, this is a little bit of a tricky one. But actually I found this on Google. I just Googled what are the NBA markets. The problem with most of the hits you get at the start actually will blend in old NBA teams and then also like NFL teams. So to find like a specific NBA list, maybe it was like the 5th or the 6th hit down the list, but it lays it out really well. New Orleans and Memphis are the 2 smallest markets. In the middle is Denver and Cleveland, almost smack bang at like 15, 16. Then right at the top, you've got New York, LA,
Big
Chicago. Brooklyn and the Clippers Lakers is in that same thing, which I thought was really interesting. I kind of assumed that like Brooklyn would be like further down the list, but actually they're right up the top. So that's really interesting. 5 points PC only, 6 to 9 points some upside to your PC, and 10 to 12 points you'll be rolling to a Kobe auto in no time at all. So I think there's a few exceptions to this. Nikola Jokic would score really poorly on this, but he's been amazing. Because maybe you could say he's got high upside, or maybe you could actually give him like, how old is he when he came into the league? I don't think he was 22. I think he was less than 21.
Yeah, but you'd go what? Center, 1 point.
Yeah. Is his game exciting? Tim Duncan, 1 point. Did he go into a large market? Okay, 2 points. So he'd be around like 6 points. Yeah.
Some upside to your PC. So he's definitely not rolling.
Giannis was 2 points for a forward. I think he had pretty high upside, but he was like also very high risk. So you could give him like a 2 or a 3. Was he exciting? Yeah,
he's probably like a Halliburton. Yeah, he's a Halliburton
at the time. Yeah,
and he's he's definitely in a small market in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think probably you'd give them 1 to be fair for that. So again, that's like PC only for Giannis. So I think that's where it would go really wrong.
So maybe the scale needs adjusting, but I like the points side of it. Yeah.
I brought those 2 up specifically though because I think that's where this tool definitely doesn't work.
Yeah.
But actually for some of them, so we've got some listener submissions that they put in that we can quickly run through, which I think was like pretty good. Marvin Williams from James Gregory. So that's an absolute 5, and that's where the tool is absolutely spot on.
Yep. PC.
Maybe he should be -5. Keontae George for the Utah Jazz. So Luke James has got him down at 7 or 8 points.
Yep.
He plays guards, so that's 3. High upside, 3, so he's up to 6.
Yep.
Is his game exciting? You'd probably give him like 2. Market, you'd give him 1. So yeah, he's kind of like in that some upside to your PC, and actually I think that's perfect for him. Bill Davidson, thank you so much for your contribution, Bill. That's fantastic. Or collect Hall of Famers that haven't been accused of rape, pedophilia, or convicted felons. So I think he's talking about avoiding Gilbert Arenas and Karl Malone at the moment. Is that what he's referencing there? Buying into Jordan, Kareem, Bill Russell.
I was going to say, having the criminology category might be,
Yeah, I mean, are they a knucklehead?
What?
Example,
what about you,
Gilbert Arenas.
What about guns? What about sorting guns all over Instagram?
Yeah,
all right. Yeah, true.
Eidos Utah, Şengün might be 16 plus, so 1 point for center. I'll give him 2 points for draft status. I don't think he was like crazy high upside. Is his game exciting? No, 1 point. Market size, Houston is actually 3 points for that. So it's that.
Yeah.
He's 7.
All right.
So that's actually not bad. Some upside to your PC. That's some upside there.
Okay. Cade.
9 or a 10. I agree with that. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
So this tool is actually not entirely useless.
True.
Yeah, definitely could use a little bit more tweaking, but I think,
could do with a bit of work. But
what about a play that you want to run through it at? Who would you put into this?
Who would I run through? Oh, yep. we'll stick with Ja Morant. There we go.
Yep.
So what have we got? He's a guard, so 3 points.
Yep.
High upside, 3
Very
points.
high upside. Yep.
3 points for exciting.
Yep. So you're up to 9.
But then I get 1 for for small market Memphis.
So that's 10 points still, though. But I do think you need to put a negative multiplier on him for the knucklehead rule, which we haven't put onto this, which is minus 20%.
Okay, so he'd become an 8.
So that takes him down to some upside to your PC, which actually is absolutely perfect.
That's fair. What about someone more recent? I don't want to go Anthony Edwards. That's boring.
So what about Bub Carrington for the Washington Wizards?
Sure.
All right. He mostly plays forward. He can play guard. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. 3 points for guard. He was young. And let's just give him the high upside of 3, so that's 6. Is his game exciting? Let's give him a 1 for that. He's not overly exciting. Market is small to mid. Let's give him a 1 for that. So what does that take us up to? 6, 8.
Okay.
Some upside to your PC. Yeah. So
all right. Rui Hachimura is a good one.
Him being 8 and then Cade being 9 to 10, that is a bit of a problem.
So there's a glaring thing about okay, so then maybe you need to expand the scale in some different areas so that it's only a minor impact on the position, but a major impact for exciting game.
But also, too, there's a big difference between a 10 and an 8. That's probably the other thing to point out, too. It's a large step up between 10 and 8. Yeah.
Cool. I said Rui Hachimura's a forward, but he plays in a big market.
Yep.
Let's see. How young was Rui when he got drafted?
I'll give him 2 for upside because I don't think he ever really came out as like a massive prospect.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 2 for a forward, 2 for draft status. Is his game exciting at 2? So it's 6, and then market.
Nah, he's not. What's exciting about his game?
Yeah, all right. So he's a 1 then. But he also gets 3 points for being in LA.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
8. No,
8.
9. Oh, 8.
Right.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a big difference between like 9 and 10 and 8 and 10, isn't there?
Yeah, because he's like, you get 3 points for being a Laker or a Knick.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's someone on New York? Karl Anthony Towns.
Center 1. He was pretty high upside as the number 1 pick. So that's 4.
Yeah.
Is his game exciting? No. 1. 5. Market size is
3.
now.
So he's an 8.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's actually a good example. Let's finish off with some Instagram comments. This is from Lift Off Cards. Jalen Green is one of my main PCs. He's been doing a good job of dunking the value out of it. I wasn't too sure about what he meant by that. And he meant sinking. So, I don't know. I think Jalen Green is a bit of a hold at the moment. I think there's a lot going on there. Neil Collect Cards gave Jordan a 9. I would actually give him a 12. I think 3 for guard, 3 for upside, 3 for excitement, and 3 for market size. That's straight to 12 for me.
Yeah.
Jokey gets a 7. Yeah, we covered that earlier on in the bit. And then Dubs Cards Oz has pointed out something quite funny. Jalen's positioning in relation to the rim has broken my brain. So that is exclusive to ChatGPT's creativity. But we've been talking off air. Actually, we think he's rebounding the ball there.
He's rebounding or getting a block.
Yeah, he's not
dunking backwards.
Tenet style dunking the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't just missed the dunk.
No. Alrighty, let's roll that into the end. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
That was great. It's an interesting timeless moment. If you've got any comments to make or suggestions on how you would change your PC decision tools, please drop a comment down below, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.